good morning.
Richard, good morning.
What you want to say?
Nyamiado bibia boko na unso.
Nyamiado me ho ye.
Beautiful.
You say dem say season enyan start in dey. Eden ya umpo unya chimu radio no. Na a sports show nko ade a. Obviously eden a transfers. Edna obeti say discussions no dodo na no.
Yeah.
And also far because clubs in your business. Now me dey room our new season anyamiado ma. And also ye di ewura mu ntino me say business dey bebre na clubs na ye anti ano pedro person only ye tiefo che no konya ne da ho yintiu na yenko
yeah rich inti a lot of business happening on the market na enra na me dream ho about a couple of things because within a split second so we are doing say oh check transfer news bia wenimba ono so na fufura say aba. So you realize that by the minutes biano there are updates. Now and now the young Diomande mo situation na betudwa Vinicius Junior. That is something a war abonting. There are so many things that are coming up from those transfers. You be hun komo. But then na me hwa de bi ro Tottenham Hotspur. Rich Tottenham Hotspur for no, they are doing something interesting, and I think through Roberto De Zerbi, I'm sure this season we will see a very different team on be presented in the English Premier League. When him say, more pre-season CCR, Chelsea a boy last Saturday, was Sydney, Chelsea 2-1. Rich before the match, Roberto De Zerbi ka sembi or say players be team Musi CR. Omoyo madrin so move free wa he will not stop them. And in fact, onuna you ready. So wo kasa botto dem Hotspur ene sisia no kasa asem na. You allow you to go.
Players ben no.
Inti top of the list Richarlison number 1.
Richarlison and Grande.
Yes, Richarlison. Second player Kuti Romero, Argentine international. Yes.
Obama Kuti Romero ako.
Yes. He doesn't mind. Now, Rich, in common say, when you look at these two players, Ubi Samia, I think one of the reasons why Roberto De Zerbi bet Nyakasa asem and he say, he really thinks that so who your player now wabeji ejuma and the very circumstance of the beji ejuma no was very uncertain. Rich, they almost went to relegation. Tottenham Hotspur. Almost relegated. Almost. Now, if they had gone on relegation, Rich, it would have been one of the biggest disasters in the Premier League. Because her stadium always see over £1 billion. And the stadium for the championship. It would have been disastrous. In this way, Roberto De Zerbi now was surviving our relegation we are. One of your topmost priorities is to make sure that going into the new season, you have your best foot forward. Into players know their psyche, their mentality. You have to make sure, say, Obia what team Mubiano is willing to and ready to work with you and your philosophy. And from what I'm gathering, no, some players me anyway. It looks like they want to disturb Papa no. It was he's not certain about their futures.
South American players.
So what you say? One from Brazil,
one from Argentina.
The other from Argentina. Because Rich, look at the business that Tottenham has done in this window.
My business.
Oh.
To players,
or the 51 million akofa Matthias Fernandes from West Ham. There be on point it was over 80 million. It was over 80 million for that player from West Ham. Okofa Paul Van Hecker from Brighton over 50 million. Okofa Sandro Tonali from Newcastle over 80 million. Andy Robertson by free transfer. Look at players BT say Victor Osimhen and Savinho they are linked to trying to get them into the fold. As well as a branch here friend Kodi Gakpo. Potentially. So Omeko ko fast akwa ba abebo Tottenham Hotspur. They could spend nothing less than 80 million to go and bring that player. Until Roberto De Zerbi is not joking at all. And I can assume say once the season begins, because of say in the Premier League no, managers be fresh in their respective roles now. He'll become a very competitive manager in the Premier League. A person who's competing for top 4. You want to be there. So if you are a player and you want to disturb him and give him that trouble there, on check
Because Pep now not dominating Premier League. Is about
of course.
These are coaches or no GDS or no more.
You can compete with them.
You can compete.
Now we saw
and do very well.
Deserve no time or Brighton.
We saw him, yeah. It did so well.
He's a very competitive manager. And if he makes signings and he's trying to build a squad, now
maybe also players in the middle, no. Almost had no company.
No, you see, on said maybe why it will not be so clear. Say omo hard you say enye ebia adia omo sign or company mo, we may not know the full story.
Because a bit to say Richarlison. Also losing the touch kakra.
Of course. That one
Richarlison and him say
he's not the type.
Or Katana new crop bobo to net. He's a unja than whom say.
As a waba from kakra.
And I say a yamina Lucy playing time kakra.
Yeah.
And or a Brazilian. Brazil so dear, national team no. So up to that bench cha.
You win a bimbo.
Opposition or national team.
Yeah.
It's sometimes our players, you know. Aya ube komuna no coaches ni problems.
Yeah.
Because of playing time. But Richarlison, to be honest with you, you na see him no. Abrant no about from. Enti ebia deserve ya ba no feel okay, this is a new coach. Mami nko na eja mi nko kan chese coach wa abade am snow. Ba ko no akwa ba ko no ma mobi. O do abade am mi mobi. Coach ni so bi ono so tinche no so say na wo ko eze o touch ya wa from. Enti e ba sa deserve at the point my things okay. Akwa ma here obet distract me. We project now person be na hwa no ma enti ebia
sana in community. You have a point because we are no crying in China. You see, every new manager who comes into a football club, they have certain players they lean towards because of philosophy or personal team. And as we speak now, with all of the signings our Kofa Sisi or their back Tottenham Hotspur, it looks like he has a certain attacking-minded footballer or personal. So you need to be very clinical in front of goal. That's number one. If you cannot trust Richarlison to give him that kind of performance, now or the what's not win here, then you are not even demonstrating say you want to become a better player. And I think that's what is happening to Aya. In fact, Deserbi is a no-nonsense coach. And on him out. So I think that's what is happening with Tottenham Hotspur. But when say no, say he's a very experienced player.
Very experienced.
Player. Because in the defense, when Bim Nankewo, Romero is the one who is the rock. Utoni says here, you are literally shooting yourself in the foot. You are sending yourself back when you are trying to push your project forward. And of course, or a link to Inter Milan this year, but Miminya Yanka, they will not sell the player. Because it's going to be very instrumental to them. Reach Liverpool this year, I think Omo person signing Bradley Barcola from PSG. But only problem no. They are going to have to spend more than £100 million for Star player. I think they've made up their mind. I'm going to Star player because already personal terms no more agree with player. And I can't say club to club ebe negotiation to get the exact transfer fee. But let's look at Liverpool. Andoni Iraola beji ejuma sisi. One of the things I want to mean here is to replace Mohamed Salah in that team. Onyenya Mohamed Salah in replacement. It was our team. Inti now would say yeah. Liverpool for say if they got something around 70 to 75 million pounds on beton and your friend Cody Gakpo in the Tottenham Hotspur Edinechi. One of the things I mean say Liverpool may try and sell Cody Gakpo. Omunya good price for player now on beton. They will bring Bradley Barcola for over 100 million pounds. Obekwa ko boss left flank no. No more the 72 no more the koto or the ton Cody Gakpo no. Akwa ko fa Pedro Neto from Chelsea. That could be the direction for Liverpool. Because Liverpool for the period to Suechi. So look at it very well. Cody Gakpo out. Omo decides to Pedro Neto to come and play for Liverpool. And then still get Bradley Barcola from Team Ayefreno, PSG. No Baba Sia Kayama Liverpool. And Andoni Iraola, aside that, he himself knows there was also signings. Because look at Liverpool team this year. Omo team now say above from Kakra because they have not been able to sign the number of players that they need to sign this summer. Already know previous window no signing Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, aboarding. So they have to try and balance the books. But since no so no, Andoni Iraola abeji adwuma no players are more Kenya na ye nkola, Rio Ngumo Hamo, Curtis Jones mo. So aside that, you have to still build a squad, but buy a couple of players. But all those are players no. Now we're making sure say we team no why set for a Premier League because Liverpool needs to be competitive, Rich. They have no excuse. And Usha's our right back situation also. Jeremy Frimpong. Yes, they were losing form because of injury. Emma Nkomokra Babonti say Bia Liverpool for besa kwa Alexander Arnold from Real Madrid because Anshan will not playing time under Jose Mourinho. It's Liverpool for come on Edin Kakra because they say aka young players, but they need to strengthen the squad. They need to get experience. They need to replace Mohamed Salah. And yes, our season is short yet there, a bedding, and we have barely 2 weeks to go. It's the transfers, no Rich. A couple of teams are going to have to buy. On one yes, our buys now they can't remain competitive. And also a Liverpool for the no. And now minim sa ote ya. Yes, Newcastle for rejected Arsenal for £75 million bid for a Bruno Guimaraes. He say Rich, or mama player no I say oh ya pa ba.
Things you are true.
Na dela na nim say
omo be shena Arsenal Jesse ni ade akra ni so.
Yeah.
And job in medicals no start training.
Inti enra Bruno Guimaraes a posty picture be from Air La Manga. Wako joining Newcastle for pre-season. But the truth is that player no nani nye. And Arsenal for Muntieni, there's a reason why Newcastle are doing this thing that they are doing. Rich Uchi Mutanya Bruno Guimaraes Obekwa Obama Arsenal. But the transfer fee is what is being negotiated. Inti Newcastle for so pay 75 no pay more. And that is their tactic to try and get more money from Arsenal for no. Inti Ansha, the total fee for player no about 82 million pounds. For a 28-year-old player, Rich, I can do 2 years when the contract so. I can understand. AB a son and Newcastle for one person moton player. No, but you see, Rich people say didn't come on Kobe before. Newcastle have a reason why they are doing this. Rich Ong said PIF, Public Investment Fund, no free Saudi Arabia, Newcastle for in 2021. No, the investments they pumped into the team to acquire 85% of the team. No, Obian himself, I was saying Newcastle very, very competitive in the English Premier League. But have they been competitive?
No.
They have not been competitive.
For players, you imagine some don't project no. Do
what
to the sense omo coach the starting project. Eddie Howie oko.
Do you know why? Newcastle have been faced with a number of challenges. There is a new rule our Premier League more friend squad cost ratio. Now, squad cost ratio no. Premier League for say the revenue, a total revenue that a football club makes in the calendar year, no, you cannot spend more than 85% of Sasikano on your player transfers, on your squad wage payment, and even amortizations, and even player wages. You cannot spend more than 85%. Now, Ushed Newcastle phone books now, they have only made about £350 million in total revenue in terms of sporting activities for the last calendar year. We are only seeing China last season. UEFA for finding almost £5.2 million for financial irregularities. And that was one of the reasons why now also Moton players which is Sandro Tonali. They had to sell players like Anthony Gordon mo. And even before that, Alexander Isak had to leave the club. Because almost like no, they have not been able to do their things really well. It is the same, no. Players winning, and they can still go into the market. It is the reason why they want to sell Bruno G for more than £75 million. No, it's not because they want more money necessarily rich. They need to make sure that they bring down their squad cost ratio. They will remain within the range. Because if they spend more than the 85%, sanctions beba almost. Of course, there's a gap. Bia ekase, you can spend even more than the 85%, but uko 315% now. Then sanctions will begin to be raised against you. But ono na say no, UEFA a fine no £5.2 million in the last season no on person be irregularities beam. So Newcastle for no, it's not like they just want money. They are trying to make sure that their books are clean. Internet say no, I'm pay more money for Bruno Guimaraes. They cannot allow him to go for just any amount at all. But reach 75 then come news and you.
Sir.
Oh,
transfer marketing.
For a player like Bruno G.
I can't be 1 year. Price tag get there almost 80. Na player can 2 years. Is it you see? Also, me my catch up. Say canina ni ne ka so is it transfer say yen kabim. No, is it transfer so umpo. Sana de na koye.
Akoye, yeah.
Me na me to me player no.
Yeah.
Me feel so when na me ebo we na me de gia e be bo me.
Yeah.
Uvu those can betimi ato a bra na beto. And and then me can say sa discussion ayala every point be which pep na na kasa asem no. Or say say player na wo kwa koto no enye sika na de koto na problem wo. But player na bad de ani etaka no. Sa ko mo na edi no street ni so no. At the end of the day, player na buy do timi be yeah. So what I say, Kana de koto no nye problem do. But player na buy. Do ono so the bar table no so. Honi here.
Yeah.
It means say player no say beton 100 do 150 do me hope you because transfer who go sana ba be.
About rich unim say.
Na kanye sa how they can grow. Do no grammar.
Yes. He turn more than even 50 million pounds.
Anji I say am say
of course on said the
market can come transfer market enko
sanity
what one ho kwa yes 85 for a player and fan simple
rich say even Fulham look at the business Fulham are doing I mean this uncommon name from anunsi rich Fulham have gone to buy Abranti friend Air Gonzalo Garcia as well as Air Cesar Palacios for less than 50 million pounds rich team ye less than 50 million pounds. But let's look at that dynamic. Players now go for mono. They have played under Alvaro Arbeloa as a Fulham coach at the Castilla or Real Madrid. They are players that Gonzalo friend is saying coach I friend Alvaro Arbeloa but to get both players 22-21 for less than 50 million pounds combined. Rich Alex Scott or Bournemouth CCR. They are pricing the boy for more than 70 million pounds.
Scott to Alex Scott. 80.
Adam Wharton or Crystal Palace. Steve Parrish say one for anything more less than 100 million pounds but for the player on turn now. And they are both 22 years. Nation they Fulham for now. Rich say Fulham by Christmas time. You who say Fulham compete in the top 5, top 6, top 7 and money young because I think mid-table clubs that is the strategy they go with. Brentford more, Bournemouth more, Fulham more, Everton more. They go and get the players. Then they give them the capacity and the improvement by their coaches.
Make sure this is a scouting system near
very good.
Scouting for good players. Age in what from? But year na tongue. So because a transfer market ni more there. So
these two players, Sir Gonzalo Garcia and Cesar Palacios say, I will not be shocked by the time next season is over. Their prices now, Fulham phone base you transfer fee will be more than 100 million. It tells you what the mid-table clubs are doing, and they are going to be competitive. Now, Chelsea for one player will spend over 117 million pounds. But only Fulham share, you will see the quality that Fulham will display on the day. And it's about transfer strategy. Now, Omaba Fulham they are going straight into the lineup because Fulham. Harry Wilson caught Raul Jimenez and so call back to Wolves. Rodrigo Muniz Carvalho are not Omoni done so or your star striker for them on Shada and Shiny. So Gonzalo Garcia goes straight into the lineup to help Alvaro Arbeloa and the Media Okudi Ewo Fulham. So Rich transfer stories in there be and I really think say in the coming days we will hear more stories and Chelsea for no Rich but me for Manusi or Chelsea I think on person muton Romeo Lavia finally. AS Monaco for now we say on person 25 million pounds ever. Number for Romeo Lavia and to say the market Chelsea for no will make a lot of sales because definitely I was so much tremendous squad no. But one of the players that I may need done super or Chelsea saying Kobetinya shiny was Romeo Lavia. And Chelsea for no found 53 million pounds from AS Southampton. Inti no oye na adwin so or turn for 25 million pounds waboka
Brandy na situation
I am ya
Romeo Lavia
I am ya
fine player
yes
but prayer hano
and when you look at injuries and the way I affected players this is one of the ones I bear me up but
sometimes I bet
I'm say
injury ya cutting in carry short
yes
Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad because he's such a wonderful player.
Yeah.
As a new proper enough playing time.
He's a star player.
Oni bobo.
Na Man United rich mun koye signings bia.
Yeah, say some music can am judge no transfer market. The players we have about. Abra move to oyi mo pay 100 million for Scott me and the players na about na. Dem say dem say no be see akobesma ko su bempa. Ayala, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Now, what you saying?